What the hell, TellTale Games?
And that's the end of the discussion. Thank you, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ash.
I'm Card Dreamer.
I'm your D-Class hero.
I'm your D-Class villain.
And we're both pissed at TellTale Games.
Yes, a united front for an even greater enemy.
Seriously. They let go of 90% of their staff.
I think it's more than that.
Alright, you want to kick this one off?
Okay, so for those who don't know, which is very few of you, and I feel sorry for you, but because I'm a villain and I'm allowed to be rude. So TellTale started off. They're story-based games. They're usually episodic. They've done old Sam and Max games. They did Wallace and Gromit episodic games.
The Wolf Among Us.
Wolf Among Us is one of the newer ones. What really set them off, they did Jurassic Park, but what really set them off was The Walking Dead. That's when they hit it. That's when they became a name.
That's mostly because the comic and both the show were very popular. But I feel like after that, all their other work started to shine.
I agree. I loved all their works. It's just that
TellTale,
that's what put them on the map.
It is what put them on the map. The Wolf Among Us is a fantastic storyline.
Oh my god.
TellTale's Batman is really good.
I haven't played the second one yet.
It's so good. But that's beside the point.
Yes.
So
they do episodic adventures where it's based on your choices and the story shapes to a degree around all your choices. No, there's going to be common threads, common story elements that are going to stay consistent, but how you arrive to those points are going to be up to you, and your story will change. And they're very great storytellers. They're kind of the new point and click adventure. I mean, that's kind of what they were. And like Ash said, you know, the Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, Back to the Future, Guardians of the Galaxy, Batman, da-na-na-na-na.
I should be angry at that, but I'm not because it's a classic theme.
Exactly.
But the point is, they screwed up. For lack of a better term, they screwed up, in my opinion. Because their games are phenomenal. They tell a great story. It's the only kind of game you can play nowadays where it's not really a direct action game, puzzle solver. No, you make choices or you gotta do like a timing thing. And it's still fun. Everyone's enthralled with the story they tell, but like this, their company itself is my problem.
Yes. So, for those who don't know, the company is more or less no longer exists.
Yeah.
They laid off over 250 employees without warning.
Yep, which is not really legal.
No. In fact, just prior to the layoffs, they had just hired people, literally a week prior.
Mm-hmm.
They hired people, including one who moved cross country to work for them.
And got laid off basically when he got there.
Yeah.
And that's just...
And not only were they laid off, they do not get a severance package because there is no money, quote unquote, money to fund this. They only kept on about 25 employees to fulfill company and board of director obligations. From my understanding, is that basically entailed the Minecraft story mode show or series that they have pending for Netflix.
As of right now,
because we all need frickin' Minecraft on frickin' Netflix. Say what you will, you can like Minecraft and that's fine. But a frickin' Netflix show.
I don't know.
Really.
I did get quite a bit of amusement out of the Adventure Time Minecraft episode. It was stupid, but I enjoyed it. But that aside, right now, for what's going on with the company itself, episode 2 of the Walking Dead finale season is still on schedule.
It just came out today.
Yeah.
Which is Tuesday at the time of recording this.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying it like this, because...
Yeah.
Point is, it seems like the final season of the Walking Dead game will be coming out. So it seems.
By that, originally it's supposed to be 4 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
4 chapters, I mean. 4 chapters. or episodes, whatever you want to call it, in this, and it got canceled halfway through, with the second one releasing today. And it was originally announced that they were not going to finish it.
So, right here from co-founder Dan Connors. What's a Connor? Connor's a thing now.
Like a cannoli.
Hashtag Connor. Dan Connors told Variety, and I'm reading this off the Variety news feed, mind you, that the sudden decision to shut down was because of a failed financial round. Which is...
What does that mean?
Exactly. It basically means that they've messed up their finances when, like, mapping out all their projects, I guess.
They overextended.
That's basically what it sounds like, but
which doesn't surprise me, because they bought some big name licenses going from The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead and Batman are two of the biggest ones. Guardians of the Galaxy is another one.
Well, here's why I'm saying, I would argue Guardians of the Galaxy is bigger. Not for the name Guardian of the Galaxy, but they had to buy it from Marvel, which is Disney.
Yeah.
They went from, and Batman is Warner Brothers. You had to pay good money to get that license from either one of those companies. So, I mean, yeah, they overextended pretty bad. In fact, Wolf Among Us is Warner Brothers, because that's a DC subsidiary.
Now, another thing that the Variety says is that Connors declined to note what company specifically backed out of their funding. So, someone backed out and is no longer supporting them via money to do their projects. A lot of people speculate it's Lionsgate, but there's no confirmed information there. So, really, it just comes back down to where was the disconnect in terms of their backing, their finances, how they spread themselves out, and how the rest of us are kind of pissed.
Yeah, so...
Correction, not kind of very pissed. I'm actually quite angry.
Yeah, I'm angry because it means no more amazing stories to play through. But there's a lot of people pissed off employee-wise who didn't get their severance, who are out of jobs, who aren't going to be able to make ends meet.
Oh, they should be the most pissed off at all, to be honest. Because if I get hired by a company, I might go within the first month over something that's not my fault directly, I have a problem with that. It's basically saying, hey, thank you for wasting your time here. You get nothing but, hey, thanks. No, that's basically what it feels like. And
they know what their financial situation is prior to hiring these people a whole week before it
exactly.
happens.
So
they did it knowingly.
It's either something last second that ends up with this result, or it's them realizing they made a fatal error somewhere in their budget.
Yeah, and not only are they pissed off over that, they're pissed off because now, supposedly, some third-party backers have stepped forward and offered to somehow help fund and finish the final season of Walking Dead.
Anonymously.
Which is good for the fan base, but bad for the former employees who are all going, that's great, you want to fund a game, but why not fund your employees' severance packages you owe us?
And here's my thing. If you screw up to that degree and you don't take care of the people who you screwed over, reevaluate yourself. I'm sorry. I love TellTale's games. I love their games. I love their stories. I love everything they do. But this just sits very badly with me.
They are now in a position where no matter what, people are screwed because you can't. People have already bought the season pass for this Walking Dead final season, and they pay $25 for a product that will no longer happen.
So here's basically what may or may not happen. I'm not psychic, so I don't know. Basically, it's either going to take that backing that they got from the mysterious third party and help their employees with the severance pay. That would be, in my opinion, the most moral thing to do.
I don't think they can. They could do that if they go into a business contract with
exactly.
They can't.
Like I said, that'd be the moral thing, in my opinion. But they can't do that because of a contract. Now, if it were, say, hey, we hire these employees, but I have to get the game done, even better. But chances are that neither of that's going to happen. they're going to use the money to make the game. That way, fans who paid for the season pass can get the game. All right, I guess. But still, what bugs me is the fact that A, their employees are not taken care of, and B, this could be the end of it all.
Well, no matter what is the end of it, they're being sued by employees for unlawful termination.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's done, and even if somebody picks up these licenses and continues to work, it will not be the same.
No, it won't.
Not saying they can't be good. There are many talented people that were not hired at TellTales, but you're not going to have the magic of the people that were hired at TellTales because they were the one telling the story. It will not be the same. So, I mean, there isn't a whole lot to really say now on that on this aspect of the conversation. We put the general facts out there. We stated what they do, and it just sucks. We wanted to really just get our feelings out about it. But having said that, I think maybe now would be kind of a nice time to kind of just reminisce with what were some of our favorite titles by them. Like, why is this so impactful to us? Like, because if you've never played a TellTale game, you're probably like, okay, business come and go, who cares? If you didn't like their games, you certainly wouldn't care.
But here's the thing. A lot of people like their games, guys. The point is, a lot of people liked them. That's why they were able to do these kind of games for so long. It's because they knew what they were doing, and they were doing it right. Like, you ask any other game developer, I guarantee they cannot tell a story like this. Make a pretty much point-and-click game. That's pretty close to what they are, point-and-click.
Yeah. There's only one other company that's actually even entered this niche world, to be fair. And that's the people who did Life is Strange.
That's true. And they also do a very good job at what they do.
They do. And even then, though, it's not the same because while Life is Strange is great, it's CGI all the way, whereas it was hand-drawn by TellTales.
They had that artistic flair about it. And honestly, if you took a look at any of their works, it was identifiable. It looked like a comic book.
It did.
And in
that's
the best
beauty,
way.
because it was all set in
comic book.
Either the comic book universes or meant to be in a comic book style. Yeah, like Batman was their own unique twist. Guardians was their twist, but it was meant to be like you're picking up just another comic in the multiverse.
You're watching a comic book.
Right.
You're playing a comic book. That's basically what they aimed for, and they succeeded very, very well. Even The Wolf Among Us had a comic book feel and style to it.
Well, it's based on a comic.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, that's why I say it's a subsidiary of DC. It's Vertigo, I believe.
Oh, neat. Well, there's your fun fact for the day, ladies and gents. I learned something new. But, point is, they look like comic books. They feel like comic books. When you read them or watch them and play them, it's a comic book. And it's freaking fantastic.
They really are. I mean, they had some... They looked good. It was nice not always having to see... per se cell shaded, and it was nice not being all CGI. It was nice seeing this. They did an amazing job of creating this 3D world out of 2D images, so to speak.
And that's not an easy task to do.
No, and I don't mean like Paper Mario 2D. I mean they just.
What you got against Paper Mario?
TellTale artists, awesome. Sorry, you guys rock.
Sorry, what happened to you guys?
But having said all that, like. And it's not even just their artists. Dude, they got some great voice talent to come work for them.
They did. Like...
Oh, come on. Biggest talents that I can think of. Maybe not the most memorable TellTale game, but arguably their biggest names, actor-wise, Back to the Future. They got Christopher Lloyd back. They got, I believe, Leah Thompson back for Jennifer. They got the gentleman who played Biff. He was back.
Like, they went out of their way to get the proper voices.
Michael J. Fox was just unavailable due to scheduling, but he did cameo and do a character. It wasn't Marty, but he did one of Marty's ancestors. Which is still fine in my book. Yeah, I mean, they took their love, they took the care of whatever franchise they were working on, and it showed in every piece. Maybe Back to the Future a little more because of what that franchise was, but they loved every piece they did. So, like, we'll start with Ash. What was your favorite TellTale game?
Favorite TellTale game? I would have to say Wolf Among Us, to be honest. Because it's just, there really wasn't a character that didn't stand out to me and just felt like an actual person. Bluebeard is still cool to me nowadays. And it's been so long since that game came out.
And that's a shame. That's Wolf Among Us 2 is one of the ones that got canceled.
I know, and it's what upsets me so much. I still love Telltale's Batman. I mean, I feel like more on like the investigation side of being a Batman when I play those games. And I love it.
This is true. And I did it in a very unique way that even the Arkham games did not capture.
Like, in the Arkham games, you play as the vigilante. Now, when you're playing the Telltale's Batman game, you're the detective. Ra's al Ghul's the detective. And I always say it that way because he always identified Batman as the detective. Or the Batman.
No, I would agree.
And I just love that. What about you? What was your favorite Telltale's game? I can already tell what it's going to be.
Oh, yeah. It was The Walking Dead, the first season. The Wolf Among Us is so close to being tied with it, though. It's not funny. But it's the first season of Walking Dead because, I mean, it's set in the comic book universe. It's all original characters. 2 characters made that game. Not that there weren't other great characters. There were. Kenny being a really great character. But Lee and Clementine had such an amazing chemistry.
They did.
The voice actors brought those characters to life and made you care every step of the way. That game had shock value. That game had characters that you loved and cared about. There were characters that did cameo that we know from the comics and from the show. I mean, the Clementine, the little girl that you play or meet as, I should say, you meet. If you look at the player choice, one of the unique things about Telltales is that at the end of every chapter or episode, you saw what your choices were, and if you were hooked up online, you got to see the percentage of who chose what. And it was interesting, like, no matter what choices fluctuate, everybody was nice to just about to Clementine. Like, even if you played as a hardcore jerk, the jerk had the soft spot for Clementine because you did not have the heart to be mean to this girl.
You really couldn't. And you were a couple of syllables away from just saying the worst possible thing about Clementine. Meat. And just a couple other words. But moving on.
Wow. No, I just mean, like...
No, I know. But
in subsequent ones, you play as her. In the first one, you meet her.
I know. But point is, if you weren't Team Clementine, you're probably Little CD.
No, even Little CD. My protege and apparent successor ahead of time is nice to Clementine.
First off, that kid is more sadistic than anyone else.
It's true.
Tell him what he does in The Walking Dead.
Poor Omid. That's all I'm saying. Omid and Trains will never get along now. Omid's lucky to still have a leg to stand on. Oh. But when push came to shove, Little CD did not have his back. I'm loving this. And these are funny puns because Little CD just pushed poor Omid off onto a train. But that's okay. That's neither here nor there. So, and Lee is another character I have to talk about because Lee, I don't know why you start the story off. Okay, spoilers for somebody who hasn't played a game that came out almost 6 years ago. Like you start the game off in the back of the police car.
Yeah.
You are under arrest, going to jail. And you somehow care about this character 5 seconds in. Like, you don't sit there and go, this thug, this criminal, who cares what happens to him? Why am I playing as him? You care. There's a sense of getting to know him right off the bat. And it's just... it's amazing. So... There are so many heart-wrenching moments in this game. I'm not going to spoil what happens because you really need to play at least the first season for yourself. Even if you're not into The Walking Dead, I would still argue play it for the characters and just for in general. It's not going to sit here and hugely tie into shows or comics. You can treat it like it's just a standalone zombie title if you really want to. It's just a great story.
Exactly.
Wolf Among Us... Ash is not kidding. That is such a phenomenal game there too. That you those again are characters that you love. The voice actress for Clementine is in that too.
Mm-hmm.
This time playing a little boy frog. Don't ask me how you can go back and forth like that, but hey, if Kermit can do it, so can.
Whew.
But all I'm gonna say is. So, The Wolf Among Us, for those who don't know, is based on DC Comics' / Vertigo's more mature take on classic fairy tale characters.
In such a cool way.
It's basically real world meets dark down, nitty gritty fairy tale characters, and you realize that the stories we know are just as get referred to in the game as the money stories. Those are not necessarily what really happened. And it's... Think of Once Upon a Time, the show, but done way better.
You mean done good? Done well?
I liked the first couple seasons of Once Upon a Time.
It got really muddled after the first two, in my opinion.
It did. But... all I'm saying is the Big Bad Wolf earned every word in that title.
He seriously did. Like, holy crap.
Him and the woodsman. Oh my gosh. That relationship / feud / dynamic is so... oh my gosh.
And that's the beauty of TellTale's games. They're able to create such emotion with these characters.
They are.
Through their dramas, through their actions, through their words, and it's just... we're not going to really get that now.
We're not. Even Life is Strange, as much as I love that game,
he does.
Because it is such a mind screw.
Phrasing.
It totally screws you up in the head at the end. I love it. But it's not the same.
No, it's not.
Because you might care about a character. It's so single character. Life is Strange is a little more single character driven, whereas TellTale somehow makes every character relevant.
Which is really hard to do in any story, to be honest.
It really... even Back to the Future... like, Back to the Future is one of the very few where you expect to be a little more single-focused.
Because it's following Marty...
and Doc.
And that's really it. And yet there's still have, like, all these side characters that still have impact on the story, your feelings towards them, and how you progress through it. I mean, that's...
you get to see dynamics or relationships not fully explored in the movies. Where, like, why... let me...
this is going to be bad.
It is. So you get to see Marty's non-incestual affection for his mother in this game. You get to see... like, he seemed to bond a little more with his dad in the movies.
Yeah.
The mother tried to bond a little more with him in 1955. But there's moments where you see he does have a strong relationship with his mother. It's not the same mother. Time got altered, but it's 1985, and he gets to... you get to see what he knows his relationship should be, and he carries it through to this version of her to try to make things right. And that was really cool dynamic. You get to see more history with Hill Valley. You get to see more personal life with Doc, and where he came from, and what his upbringing was like, and what influenced him. Besides Jules Verne, it it was a really good game. I mean, for those type of things.
And it just makes me more upset the fact that like we can't expect to get more of this now, because it seems as though the final season of The Walking Dead from Telltale's games is going to be the final game from Telltale's games.
Sadly poetic there, Telltales. Tell me that wasn't intentional.
If it was,
I believe it was, to be honest.
I mean, if it was, first off, I hate you guys. You hurt my feelings. I'm very sad right now.
As if he played one.
Right?
It's true. It's like you're living in a Telltale's game right now.
I swear to God, there's like a fifth dimensional wall here, or fourth dimensional wall here, and what they're looking down at us,
probably
just
Deadpool
right in.
Playing. You can't even be mad because it's
I
Deadpool.
can't be then. My point is, the final season of Telltale's The Walking Dead is going to be the final game from Telltale's Walking Dead at this rate. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. We don't.
Complete it or not, it is their final game.
Exactly. But point is, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. For all we know, something could start the company back up. It just seems like they're shutting down for good. Based off what we've read.
Because you need that Netflix Minecraft story television series. You need it. You need a whole series and season dedicated to this.
I will gladly watch Beyond Space and be fine. Well, guys, I'm Ash.
I'm Card Dreamer.
In the comments below, we want to hear everyone's favorite Telltale's game. If it left a lasting impact on you, what character was your favorite, so on and so forth, and tell us what are your feelings about this whole situation with the company.
And no matter what your comment is, you will be sent a notification that says Ash and Card Dreamer will remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Which you will only get if you played a Telltale game.
If you guys haven't played one, we'll be disappointed. He'll give you that dad shake hands like, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed.
It's just I no longer have a son.
Like, no, we will do a video of just him doing that.
I will break my vow of never being on camera just to shake my head in disappointment at whoever has never played one and refuses to.
Well, there you go.
I will unsubscribe you from this channel.
What, all of our, like, 3 fans?
Yeah.
Love you guys. Catch you later.
See ya.